Rambam, and the purpose of it is to get everybody really hooked on the Rambam. And today we will tell you why you want to get hooked on the Rambam. Okay, it's a little complicated, but I'll explain it. A person is obligated to divide his study time into three parts. 1/3 should be divided for the written law, that refers to Chumash, Nevi'im, and Ketuvim. 1 to the oral law, which effectively is referring to the Mishnah, but in practical terms it's referring to Mishnah Torah. Mishnah Berurah you can do if you want, but Mishnah Torah is really good because it's really straightforward. And the third part of your time should be spent understanding and conceptualizing the ultimate derivation of a concept from its roots. That means understanding the theory behind everything. Inferring one concept from another and comparing concepts. That's really what happens in school, right? That's what they're doing. Understanding the Torah based on these principles of biblical exegesis. That means they're understanding the rules behind it. It's a part that's right at the end just before we say Kaddish. Those are the rules. Until one appreciates the essence of those principles and how the prohibitions and the other decisions which one received according to the oral tradition can be derived using them. This latter topic is called Gemara. But in fact, anything that you're learning that sits and explains what you're actually understanding, what you learned in the written and in the halacha, is actually considered what they call Gemara. It's not just the Gemara, the Talmud Torah. Okay, the last part is how is the above expressed? This is what you're supposed to do. A person who's a craftsman, like a teacher, may spend 3 hours a day, each day involved in his work, and devote 9 hours of study to Torah study. In those 9 hours, he should spend 3 hours reading the written law, 3 the oral law, and 3 meditating with his intellect to derive one's concept from another. So you're supposed to work 3 hours a day and learn 9 hours a day. The words of prophetic tradition are considered part of the written law, that's Nevi'im and Ketuvim, and their explanation part of the oral law. The matters referred to pardes are considered part of the Gemara. The above applies to the early stages of Torah study. However, when a person increases his knowledge and does not have the need to read the written law or occupy himself with the oral law constantly, meaning that you've learned the Mishnah by heart and you learned Chumash by heart, he should study the written law and the oral traditions at designated times. Thus, he will not forget any aspect of the laws of the Torah. Therefore, he's supposed to review constantly. He should focus his attention on the Gemara alone for his entire life, according to the ambition and his ability to concentrate. Again, the Gemara isn't necessarily referring to the Talmud Bavli, Talmud Yerushalmi, but maybe referring to any Sfarim that you learn. Next week is going to be really exciting because we learn all about women and learning Torah. Have a good day.
So his speech, he gives a chant every day.